So, look at this. This is from a bodybuilding show that I did 5 or so years ago. I've got my little black pants on. You've got the number 24. There I am doing a side tricep, whatever it's called. There I am doing another side tricep. I'm very, very happy. There's a black and white one where I seem to have stood like I'm some kind of a swan. There's the most muscular, which we're going to get back to in just 1 second. There's your double back bicep. That's not what it's called. Lat bicep thingamajig. I'm very tired today. There's a color most muscular, and for some reason there is another most muscular. Now I have shared these pictures before, but I'm going to tell you right now, the one that I share the most is this one that has just reappeared on the screen. And why do I do that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Because here are the actual pants that I did wear. This is a weird thing for me to go and get. But, I mean, the main reason I've kept them is because I wear them for my professional wrestling matches. Because shout out to Lance Storm. I had a very interesting video he did one day where he's like, if you're wearing tight spandex, why would you be wearing normal pants? We can all see it. And I was like, damn it, Lance Storm, you're right. Don't worry about it. Now, there was 2 main reasons why I wanted to do a proper bodybuilding show. The first is I've been training for 10, 12, 15 years, whatever it was, and I wanted to push myself to the limit and see where I could get to. But the other one is that I wanted to get as lean as I possibly could to see how it would make me feel emotionally. Now, the thing that nobody will ever tell you about bodybuilding is that week to 2 weeks before you have your show, you are an emotional mess because you are in what is essentially called controlled starvation. So your endocrine system goes nuts, your brain goes nuts, your body goes nuts. You can just be sitting watching television and all of a sudden you start to cry. So there's my quick PSA for this video. If this does happen to you too, it's perfectly normal. And it's basically your body crying out for help, but you've already told it, shut up, buddy, we ain't gonna do it. But of course there is another part to all of this, because again, I have the pictures and I have a video of me doing my posing routine. But actually, every time I look at them, while obviously I can tell that I've got a low body fat percentage, my usual brain process is, 1, I lost way too much muscle mass, and 2, well, I'm holding a little bit of water around my stomach. And look, all of that was true. I was massively bloated going into that competition because again, I didn't really know what I was doing and I probably needed some help from an outside source. But it seems crazy to me that you can put in all this time, you can put in all this effort and get into a kind of a shape that 99% of people would look at and go, oh, hi, you've done a really good job. And yet when you look at it, it's like, man, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. And this isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying this is positive or negative. I'm just doing this video today because I think it's an accurate portrayal of most people that go to the gym. And in many ways, the best piece of advice I've ever told is that the first time you do pick up a weight and realize, oh, I enjoy this, you have totally screwed up your life. Because you're never going to be lean enough, you're never going to be big enough, and you're always going to be nitpicking to the point when you do get other people going, oh my gosh, you're in great shape, you've done a great job, you will get annoyed at them because all these crazy things are going on upstairs. Now look, of course there is a plus to this, right? You can always find the good in any kind of situation. And when you do have that dangling carrot constantly where you want to get better and you want to get improved, you are going to keep going to the gym. You are going to make sure you stick on your diet, and you're probably just going to be a little bit more tenacious and a little bit more self-disciplined than you would be otherwise. I mean, I can tell you this, sometimes, it's a very rare occasion, I've looked in the mirror and gone, oh, hi, Simon, you're looking pretty good right now. And over the next 2 days, I'll usually eat my entire weight in food because I'm like, well, I've earned this now, I've justified it. Now, admittedly, I haven't done that for a long time. I am exaggerating a little bit, but I do understand this line of thinking, and I think it's something that we do not discuss enough, even though I have discussed it a lot on my channel. And while we can sort of break it down and just call it body dysmorphia, I kind of think it's more intense than that. Now, of course, loads of you right now, because you're lovely people, will be watching this going, oh, Simon, you shouldn't beat yourself up so much and you shouldn't be this way. But it's not even a self-deprecating thing. It just comes down to the fact that for some reason, when I do see pictures of myself wrestling or when I look at these bodybuilding photos where I'm meant to be in the prime possible shape, I can only see things where I believe I could have done better. Doesn't that just stand to reason? Like, of course, there is a small percentage of people that go the other way, and we'll talk about that in just 1 second. But no matter what you're doing in your life, if you have given 100% effort to it, do you ever actually get to the end of the line and go, man, I totally smashed that? Like, a certain amount of you will think that, but there's always the seed of doubt, and there always is your brain once again kind of knocking, going, well, maybe you could have done this and maybe you could have done that. So do you know what the surprise answer or the surprise reasoning for all of this is? Probably said it a couple of times already, but now let's just stamp it, rubber stamp it. It's because you're a damn human being, so stop beating yourself up. Because something else I'd absolutely love for most people to take away from this video is that when you do feel like this, it doesn't have to be a good or a bad thing. Like, let's say that I do have body dysmorphia. Let's use a term that most people are familiar with. It doesn't upset me 95% of the time. I don't feel it weighing on my shoulders. Like, there was certainly a time back in the day where I did feel like that, but in any kind of obstacle that you do face in your life, you understand that you have to adapt to it, and you understand that you have to educate yourself, and you understand that you're going to have to deal with it eventually, otherwise it's going to drive you crazy. Now, at this juncture, I always want to point out, if you are struggling with it and you can't find that light at the end of the tunnel, you absolutely do need to talk to somebody, be it a friend, a family member, or a medical professional. That's where strength is, admitting that you do have a problem. But why can't we just open up and we talk about it? Every now and then, or most of the time, if I see myself in a somewhat semi-naked position, because I've chosen to spend my life wrestling in my pants, yeah, I don't like it. And if somebody then, gets in touch with me and says, Simon, can you retweet this? Or Simon, can you share this? Maybe I'll go put some filters on it. Or maybe I'll just go, let's pretend I didn't see that message and go on to do something else. I suppose it can also be doubled back down to the fact that if you are putting yourself out there, even if you do have a small social media account, but you are posting pictures, you can have 99 people tell you, man, you look great, man, you look so good, man, I can't believe how well you're doing right now. And when that one a-hole turns up and goes, man, you call that a bicep, you call that a body, I can't even tell you lift, bro. As soon as you do shut your computer down, you go do something else. Do you know what you're gonna be thinking about? Mr. Douchebag. So that's why I think that it's important to have this conversation, because it is okay. It's absolutely okay to feel this way, and it's absolutely okay to be somewhat hurt by what somebody has said online. Like, you always hear these people that go, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. What a pile of baloney that is. I've had some stuff said to me that I'd much rather the same person knocked on my door and snapped my arm in two. I mean, yeah, sure, I'd be in physical pain, but at least I don't have to lay up at night going, why? Why did they do this to me? It's not fair. But honestly, seriously, you're not going to be like me and I'm not going to be like you, because we're all going to take our same journeys, 2023's favorite word. But this stuff, it doesn't bother me. It's just something that I deal with and something that plays around with my head every now and then. But I truly do think that if you have a bit of self-awareness and you're able to make videos like this or have a chat with somebody else and just admit it, all of a sudden, it doesn't feel that bad. So again, if somebody walked in here right now and said, Simon, are you happy with your physique at the moment? You can just say no. It doesn't have to become this emotional roller coaster. It doesn't have to become the be-all and end-all. It's just the way that you're feeling right now. It kind of ties in too, because a bad hair day has become a stereotypical thing. Admittedly, I can't really talk about that. How many times have you seen that over the years, be it in sitcoms or whatever? Oh my gosh, I'm having a bad hair day. Why can't you have a bad brain day? Why can't you have a bad body day? Why can't you have a bad arm day? Oh, I loved how my arm looked yesterday, but today it looks absolutely terrible. Probably because that schmerl turned up and broke it. But I just find sometimes, especially on the world of the internet, we do tend to exaggerate things. And sure, sometimes that is massively important. That's what we should do to get the message across. When you are dealing with this stuff with a 24-hour period, if you're like me, you just want to do shrug emoji every now and then and just accept that's the thing today. That's what you've got to deal with, and we'll probably process it. And then tomorrow will come. It's going to be a brand new occasion. So sure, I've exaggerated a bit with this title, but that is just the YouTube way. And also, I want to make sure this message actually gets seen. I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I'd be like, dude, it's a little bit extreme. You don't need to do that. I'm happy to talk about it quite clearly. I'm doing it right now. But no, I'm not a particular fan of my body. But maybe that's what inspires me to keep going to the gym. Maybe that's what inspires me not to just sit here and eat a bowl of cereal. And maybe that's just my little thing that's always going to exist. And we all have little things, and ultimately, when I do sort of take in everything that's going on with me right now, I consider myself pretty lucky, because some other people have it way worse. So ultimately, it's just another mountain to overcome. And we've talked about it before. I'm happy to talk about it again. There's been so many times I've been sat backstage at a wrestling event, and I've got into my biker shorts, I've got into my singlet. I'm like, man, I can't do this today. I don't want to do it. But the clue is in what I just mentioned. Why do I have biker shorts, and why do I have a singlet? Well, the singlet was actually developed as some kind of like safety net in case I just cannot face going out in front of a bunch of people I don't know half naked. I can just put a little bit more clothes on and maybe feel a little bit better. And is there a certain amount of arrogance to that? Yes, I think there is, because I want to look the best I possibly can, but it goes the other way as well. What's the opposite of arrogance? De-arrogance. It's worry. It's being scared. It's the fear of being judged by somebody. That's also ridiculous anyway, because 9 times out of 10, the person going, oh, Miller, you look really fat now. They've never even been to the gym a day in their life. And more power to them, man. They're allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do. Nobody is better or worse because they go to the fitness palace of love. That is kind of like me watching a golfer and say, man, that putt absolutely sucked. And then I go to do the putt, and where does the ball land? In parking lot. So I tell you, seriously, the best thing you can ever do is to embrace your good parts, but embrace your bad parts as well. And all of a sudden, trying to get through every single day is just a little bit easier. I'm not saying it's easy overall, it's not. There's nothing harder. And don't forget as well, 100% of people are struggling with this. Even somebody like Brad Pitt, the Fight Club body, Brad Pitt's Fight Club body, that people still keep talking about. You don't think once in his, 58-year-old life, however old he is, he hasn't woken up and looked in the mirror and gone, man, Brad, we ain't doing that well today. And trust me, there would be millions of people who would be happy to walk into Brad Pitt's bedroom and say, Brad, you looking phenomenal right now. But he a human, and I a human, and I would bet my last dollar. Even if an alien is watching this, which means I've done very well, they're probably feeling the same way too. Because no matter how much we evolve as beings, whatever word you want to use, we're also totally crazy. Goes back to the video we did on Monday. Do you think the horse overthinks things? No. But very sadly, you weren't born a horse. You were born as a Homo sapien. So be kind to yourself. That's essentially what I'm saying. I want you to be kind to yourself today, and I just want you to accept every single thing that's going on, and please know that you're not alone. I know that sounds a little bit cheesy, but that's the kind of thing I wanted to get out there today. And if you could so wish to, you can like the video, share the video, you subscribe, you can click the video on the screen right now, which will be my video from Monday. Thank you so much for supporting that. You can also go to patreon.com/Simon316, go to grillandmind.com/Simon, use the code to get 10% off. These are the supplements I use, but again, as we are talking honestly here, you don't need a supplement in order to get a good physique. I just find they help that 1-2%. And also Grill and Mind are genuinely the best products I've ever used. You can also follow me on social media at Simon316. I've got a cameo search for Simon Miller, Simon J. Miller on TikTok, and there is merchandise, pro wrestling tees, and Samson Athletics. All the information is in the description down there. But today, just try it. If you do look in the mirror and you do look a bit crappy, doesn't mean you don't go to the gym and you don't try a little bit harder, and it doesn't mean you don't go back to your diet and maybe realize I need to cut more calories out, but just accept it. Accept it today, shrug, smile, and know that even when you do lose those extra 5 pounds or you put on those extra 5 pounds of muscle, you're still gonna find something else that you don't like. And that's totally cool. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. And when you can just accept something, everything feels a little bit easier. Take care, my friends. I'll see you soon.